This is the third in a series of videos where I'm addressing my desire to get involved in the 5G buildup. Repeating myself, I believe that 5G is going to become a priority to our country, and our country is going to spend a lot of money once we get through the coronavirus and we want to put people to work. We're going to build out our infrastructure, and part of building our infrastructure is going to be building out 5G. In a prior video, I listed some of the companies that I thought were going to be major participants. The regular players, that being Cisco, Verizon, T-Mobile, Sprint, Qualcomm, Charter, and AT&T. They're too big an elephant for me to get involved in. I see them as the ones providing the 5G. What I'm more interested in is the ones who are going to provide the hardware and facilitate the build out of 5G. And I listed some companies, Excellinx, again Qualcomm, Ericsson, Crown Castle, Verizon, and Marvel Technology. I've already done a video on Marvel Technology. I think they're going to be a major player. They've restructured their company in such a way that they are going to have some of the hardware needed to make it. And they have exclusive rights and unique hardware that's going to be a major player in the 5G movement. Before I get too deep into my 5G pick of Ericsson, I want to talk about my book. I'm very proud of this book. I put about a year into writing it, and it's entitled, Who Are You? Why Are You You? I have a strong belief that life is all about making good decisions. Merlin Olsen, who used to a football player, I think he was with the Oakland Raiders and then became an announcer, and I remember many years ago he made the statement, life is about the decisions you make, and that determines how you end up. One of the decisions that I made a couple of years ago, about 5 years ago, was to learn more about myself and why I am who I am. And I determined there were basically 10 days in my life that determined who I was. I went through an exercise, and I explained that in this book. And what it actually did was make me a better manager of carry. Life and business is all about decisions and managing your life and other people's lives. Well, you need to know who you are before you can manage you. That's what I go through in this book. In the description, you'll find a link to it. It's both on a paperback. I really like the cover, and on Kindle. So get this book. If you believe in what I'm talking about, you need to know more about me. You need to know about how I became who I am, and you need to know more about yourself. If you'll learn to manage yourself, you'll have a much better life. Okay, let's talk about 5G and Ericsson. Ericsson's was kind of a lost soldier, a Scandinavian company, and President Trump has breathed some life into Ericsson with a statement that this article I read in the Wall Street Journal, the Trump administration increases its aggressive efforts to cripple China's Huawei technology, has presented Ericsson AB the opportunity to lead the rollout of 5G technology around the world. That's a pretty big statement. And the article goes on to say that Canada's telecommunication companies have pretty much all basically said they will be using Ericsson's hardware for their wireless 5G development. And they indicated, this article indicated, that they actually have been the supplier to Huawei in many of the advantage that Huawei has had, and you need to understand that Huawei has brought China to the forefront, as well as South Korea, the forefront of 5G. They are years ahead of us. But Huawei was using Ericsson's technology, and the Trump administration has basically made a deal, it seems, with Ericsson. At least this is how I understand it, that Ericsson will no longer supply Huawei with this, they call it some sort of in and out, it's a MIMO 5G equipment that helps the wireless capability work in 5G. So I have gone ahead and bought Ericsson, and both Ericsson and Marvel and some of these others have very recently had a very good week. As I have said in the past, I don't really wait for a dip. I buy stocks that I think 3 years, 5 years from now are going to be major players in what I see as a change. And I see us, if you look back and see what the change from 3G to 4G meant to our country, meant to the use of our phones, and I believe that 5G is going to do exactly the same thing. And so I want to come in on the ground floor, and particularly with Ericsson, it's only about a $10 stock, whereas Marvel was about a $30 stock. They have some very high potential upside if in fact they are the players that I think they're going to be. So Ericsson is in there. I want to reiterate that I think this is the way to invest. My son is a financial advisor, and he made the comment to me today, Dad, I'm looking at our portfolios, and our portfolios are being held up by technology as we go through this, and didn't really get hammered like some of the industrial and the restaurant and the hospitality and entertainment stocks did. And as I said to him, that is because they have such stronger books of business and balance sheets that they can survive this. He said, yeah, but there's the more lending has been done in the last quarter than the preceding years. And I said that's understandable, because the hospitality industry, the entertainment industry, the airlines industry, you go on, they have had to access whatever line of credit they can in order to stay afloat. These companies operate at a 25-30% margin. So they have money in the coffers. They have cash. But when they borrow money and then they can turn that money into revenues that return them 15-25%, they'll borrow money forever. And until interest rates and inflation go up, they'll probably not pay it back. So this whole situation is falling right into the hands of these technology companies like Emerson, like Marvel. The next one I'm going to review will probably be Crown Castle. They're the ones who make the towers and own the towers that are going to hold these devices for the 5G. So this is a tremendous opportunity. Is the market going to crash? I don't know. Do I believe it's going to crash? No, I don't. It will take a dip. It will. They always take a dip, and that's a new buying opportunity. But I believe Emerson is a stock you should have in your portfolio. Do it like I'm doing it. Dollar cost average in. Don't jump in and buy 1,000 shares. Buy 100. In Emerson, that's $965, and then if it goes up or down, buy another 100, because this is going to be a player. When do I expect? What is my time horizon? We've got to get through this corona crisis before we start putting boots on the ground to build out 5G. I understand that, and so I'm not looking for this to be a rebound stock like my American Express and my Disney and McDonald's have been. This is more of a long-term investment, as is the Big Six. So that's what I have done. I encourage you to do the same. No, I encourage you to make your own decision.